Fuck's sakes.
Make a Mustang Mach-E yours today. For a limited time, choose a 2023 model year
Hi, hope everyone. My name's Mr. Fruit, and welcome back to Destiny 2.
That was great. That was great. That's a wrap. That is a wrap on Mr. Fruit. Thank you, Mr. Fruit. That was big.
Can't.
Thank you. Oh, thank you so much. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Things Only Happen When I'm Not Home, where today, things have happened, and I'm not home. So, Bungie,
No shot. Bro's using his friend's fucking... Oh, that's hilarious. That is... He's holding me hostage, send help. That's funny. I'm so tired. No M. Night Shyamalan. Don't make me do it. Nah, that's actually disrespectful, actually, because this bro's going through some shit. Never mind. Never mind. Ah, you ready, cunts? I can't hear you. Oh. Yeah, that's fine. The lack of sleep I'm having. I'm surprised. I'm aging, bro. I don't think we'll be doing much Destiny today. Bro, I made a fresh account. That's crazy. Oh my god, I don't want to hear myself, dude. Bruh. Right. Hey Shadows, how's it going? Shadow Sick Hill, welcome back to Destiny 2. This is day 28. I was gonna just straight stream into Destiny, but I saw some stuff all over social media and got linked this video for Dado as well as Aztecross, but I think we'll just watch one, not both, because they're both almost an hour long each. And I'd like to actually play something today, because, you know, who doesn't want to play games after work?
Said that they were going to release some information about the future, and they dropped 5 articles. So I don't know how long it's going to take to go through everything, so we might be here a while, so I'm just apologizing ahead of time. Also, it's a very special day, very special anniversary today. I think you all know it is the 25th anniversary of the Sega Dreamcast releasing in North America.
Fucker.
Huge day for them. I hope they really get to celebrate. All right. It's so early, bro. Okay. And it would be even earlier if I was actually home, so I should be grateful. Codename Frontiers, paving the way for new frontiers. Also, usually, I kind of like skim everything to be like, oh, I should talk on this and, you know, point this out and blah, 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 blah. Just so I have a couple of talking points prepped ahead of time. I'm just going in blind. Today marks the 10-year anniversary. Oh, yeah. No, I'm just kidding. I know, it was 10-year anniversary. That was the whole joke, bro. Sorry, I'm also talking a little bit quietly because there's still people sleeping in the house. Expansion summer 2025, winter 2025. So that was something that was in some of those leaks that came out about a month ago, was that we weren't doing any more like annual expansions, but we have 2 expansions here. So I'm wondering if this is maybe gonna feel more like a big season, like a super extended season, or are they gonna really feel like expansions? I'm sure we'll get to there. Expansion, new stories, new locations, missions, weapons, gear, raids, and dungeons. They're not dead, not that I thought they were. Seasonal update, new reprise activities, new gear, artifact, exotic ornament. Okay, so it seems like a lot of the stuff that.
Yeah, so new season, new stories, new locations, new missions, new weapons, new gear, new raids, new dungeons, new reprised activities, new gear and artifact mods, new modifiers and challenges, sandbox meta, new events, exotic weapon and ornaments, legendary weapons. Yeah, so like the usual shit that kind of comes. I'm just interested in the potential reprisal of activities, because it says new and reprised. So hopefully it means like, just at this point, just bring everything from D1, in my personal opinion.
That we typically get with like a season or an episode, or dare I say even an expansion, right? Like all of those different methods of content delivery offer these things. So I'm a hold for now. roadmap lays out our plan for year 11 and beyond with some exciting changes to our annual model. 2 expansions per year, 4 major updates of free content every year. So that's the major update. So maybe some sort of like a big balance kind of update. I'm kind of thinking like WoW does, although I don't know if WoW does it that often, where like World of Warcraft will have these big content updates as well, but they're not necessarily expansions. And I'm wondering if maybe Bungie, I don't want to say modeled it after World of Warcraft, but is kind of going for like a similar vibe. I'm not sure, but let's keep going. Over the next few months, we'll be sharing more info on Codename Frontiers. Several dev insight deep dives going live today, of which I mentioned earlier. Be more transparent in our communications with you. This means sharing our work more frequently, even if you see our mistakes and false starts along the way. So please remember that our roadmap and plans are subject to change as we get deeper into development. Fine. I know that's something that game dev is very scared of doing, because if they talk about like a cool thing and it doesn't end up panning out, then everyone's like, oh, why'd you cancel it? It sounds so cool. So just keep that in mind, that they might talk about some stuff that might not come to fruition. You got to be okay with that if they want to, open the curtain a little bit. Our vision for the future of Destiny 2. Things have become too rigid. Expansions have started to feel too formulaic and are over too quickly with little replay value. Seasons and episodes keep getting bigger, but can still feel like you are just going through the motions. I'm on board with seasons and episodes still feel like you're going through the motions, because episode 1, it's just kind of felt like a season. I was trying to give it some time, but it still kind of feels like a season. Expansions to feeling too formulaic, I suppose so, but I still think people like enjoyed having that kind of campaign type experience, so maybe it didn't feel that bad. Okay, so I'm gonna leave.
Honestly, expansion, I know I haven't been around the Destiny space for a long time. I mean, I feel like I have, but I feel like I haven't at the same time. Expansions to me were better, and as much as I enjoy like season passes and ranking up shit, and the seasonal challenges are really fun to grind for and stuff like that, it's being able to have like a nice, for me, like the fact that I have to wait every week or wait every blah 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 for the story is shit. I personally would prefer to have an expansion drop and there be a campaign. Boom. Like, I'm happy for expansions to be a more often thing, personally. But yeah.
Leave this on the screen. I'm not sure. I'm probably going to edit out a decent amount of me just reading. But essentially from this paragraph, instead of 1 big expansion, 2 medium-sized expansions, and it also does not seem like we are getting that typical campaign experience in an expansion anymore. Of which I am feeling a little mixed, in that I like having those campaign experiences. I think they're fun to explore, but I am excited to see what else they could try to do. We want to return the mystery and wonder that was woven into the fabric of early Destiny. That experience has more or less like completely vanished from the game, right? I think, I mean, at least a lot of veteran players know. Maybe if you're a newer player, you don't, it's still feeling kind of fresh to you. But the early days was just like, we didn't know what we didn't know. And when things are brand new and fresh like that, and we don't have 7 years of experience just on Destiny 2 itself, 7 years, things can start to feel stale. And for me, they felt a little stale for a while, just going through the motions. Just, it's cool. It's like, I appreciate all the work that does go into it, but for the past few seasons, it's just been like checklist, 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 checklist. And that's really it. And so I'm interested to see how they think they can return the mystery and wonder of that early Destiny. Because honestly, I mean, I hate to bring up World of Warcraft again, but when they talked about bringing back classic WoW, I put out a video on this channel being like, are they going to be able to recapture the magic of early World of Warcraft, classic WoW, where just no information existed, right? Everyone was completely in the dark. You had like 2 database websites, and that was it. There wasn't a market for information back then. Whereas today, people just blitz through classic WoW like it's nothing. So were they going to be able to recreate that magic of, the wonder and the mystery of exploring, Azeroth like I did back in 2005? Or is it just going to be like I already kind of know everything that's going on? So I'm getting very, very similar vibes. And the answer for me when I played Classic WoW was like, it was neat to go back for like a little bit, but when you know everything, you know everything. So Bungie needs to figure out a way to essentially go back to the past, but have it so we don't know everything. And I think that's gonna be tough. I do think that's gonna be tough. Something else that very, very much interests me is this exploration experiences similar to the Dreaming City or Metroidvanias, even more unusual formats like roguelites, survival shooters. I'm interested because this sounds like a potential way that Bungie, maybe not returning the mystery and wonder, but like they can shake up the formula a little bit, right? Like, we all know how a season works. We know how an episode works. It's all feeling very similar. Even expansions, like, we're going to get some kind of campaign thing, then we're going to get some kind of activity, then we're going to get some sort of post campaign little short escapade thing that we do with like an exotic attached to it. Like, you can literally just go down the list and check. I think of it like season 6, which was the Gambit Prime season, right? Which it didn't go over super great, but something that I can respect about it was that it was at least trying to do something, right? It was they said like, F it, this is the Gambit season. And Gambit was still very fresh back then, so like don't look at it from like today's POV. Gambit is like less than a year old at this point, even though it still had problems. But the point is, Bungie tried to like do something novel with a thing, and I can respect that, even if it didn't work out. I would much rather Bungie try some weird stuff, right? Trying a Metroidvania, trying a roguelike or a survival shit, whatever they want to try, and it doesn't work out, versus season number 27, season number 41, where it just feels very similar. It just feels like a spin-off of a spin-off of a spin-off. So I totally respect them wanting to try something different. Non-linear storytelling, we'll see. I do think maybe some of the casual audience is going to maybe not be too thrilled that they're going away from that kind of like one-shot campaign structure, because I do think a lot of people like that, right? I think, it's tough when maybe you're only looking at, like content creators, for example, like we're on the game all the time. We're maybe a little more jaded than like the average casual player who doesn't engage with any of that kind of stuff at all. So it's maybe kind of tough to gauge their opinion when we don't really have it as much. We just have like what people are saying on Reddit and Twitter and YouTube and blah, blah, blah. So I'm interested. I'm interested in Bungie trying some new stuff, trying some new formats, trying whatever they want to try to shake up the formula, because that is what this game has needed for a while. I think they, like, Witch Queen was like a good first step for like, changing up like the campaign experience a little bit. Not even changing up, it's really just kind of making it way better. I'm interested to see what they end up doing here, because this franchise needs a friggin' shot of adrenaline. Seasons. With the change to 2 expansions per year, seasonal model will be changing as well. Instead of 3 episodes, we will be building 4 major updates per year, 1 every 3 months. Each expansion will launch alongside a major update at the start of a season. Then a second major update will follow 3 months later to refresh the core game with new and reprised content, including activities, strikes, exotic missions, or entirely new modes like Onslaught, rewards, weekly events, features, combat meta balance. Okay, so kind of what I said at the beginning. The big seasonal resets will still happen, but now twice a year. Alongside the expansions, each update will be a substantial refresh of the core game. These updates and their content will be free to all players. We want Destiny to be easier to recommend or play for anyone, so we want to remove that major barrier to the experience, which means we need to talk about the core game itself. Okay, so before we get there, it sounds, like they're going to 2 seasons, or not 2 seasons. They're going to 2 expansions per year, probably smaller scale at this point, right? Because if they could do only one big one, and they're trying to do 2, right? They're going to be smaller in scope. this is fine. I think this is like a nothing point. Like, okay, yes, we kind of assumed that you were going to do something in the middle of one of these expansions and not just let it ride for 6 months. But excited to announce that, like Destiny 2 Into the Light, these updates and their content will be free to all players. So I'm wondering where the split is of like what is now paid, because it doesn't seem like the expansions are free. It seems like the updates are for like the like this and the, I mean, it literally says it right here, available to all players. So I'm interested to see what like what is paid now and what is going to be free now. The core game is Destiny's always available evergreen activity experience. We need to fix two key things with it. Number one is approachability, and number two is gear and challenge should matter. I've heard that before. Okay, I've heard challenge should matter before. First, Destiny is too complex, which might be a wild thing to hear, but if you're maybe not as in tune with the game, or you're like a newer player and you just like open up this game and it's just menus on menus on menus, you can maybe kind of see where they're coming from. With literally hundreds of activities, you practically need a PhD to decide what to play and how to get rewards.
Honestly, it's so true, because my partner has just started Destiny and she's just like, where do I even start? And I'm like, let's just start with the campaigns and then we'll just pick quests and go from there. And you try to teach armor mods, weapon mods, masterworking, what the stats do, what fragments and aspects to use, because you don't want to just ram them with the meta, because personally I don't even like fucking using the meta. Whatever the meta is, I don't fucking care. I just want to have fun and enjoy the game. So I'm just trying to later just say try things out. Oh, you don't know what gun you prefer to use over a hand cannon or a pulse rifle or whatever? Just figure out what you like and what you don't like. Try them out. You don't know. Some people I knew didn't like bows. My partner doesn't like snipers. So yeah, just play around a bit.
How to get rewards that you're looking for. We're going to be modernizing the activity UI director, make it easier for everyone to find and launch into great activities. We're reworking our reward model to make sure that all those activities offer meaningful rewards. Our deep dive on activities and rewards go into more details on these changes in particular. We're going to go into those Dev Insight articles immediately after this. So let's see what else they have to say. Gear and challenge should matter. Even great activities stop mattering if the challenge dries up and the rewards aren't worth it. So we're investing in a greatly improved challenge customization system to let players of any skill range find the right challenge for them, with rewards that improve based on the challenge level that you take on. Okay. Won't be simple incoming damage increases either. The team is cooking up some great gameplay modifiers that give enemies some exciting tools to mix things up on every run. We'll have a deep dive coming soon to show off some of these new threats. As for the rewards, there will be higher tiers of legendary gear, think adept weapons and artifice armor, that will be available from these higher challenge ranges in a much wider variety of activities across PvE and PvP. These two changes will help the core experience be easier to drop into and much deeper in terms of variety and pursuit of seasonal personal mastery. Starting point for ongoing changes. Fine. Another WoW data, another WoW reference. I'm getting like slight mythic dungeon key vibes from this. I'm also like, if you're an old school player, you know Five of Swords, which was like the Nightfall modifier card that you could like put other modifiers on to give you more points in the run or whatever, increase your difficulty as much as you reasonably could on the card, but hopefully a bit more bolstered. Like, it's not just like, we're bringing back the Five of Swords and that's it. Challenge should matter. Challenging to who? Because I think there's a lot of veteran players out there who I don't think are challenged by this game at all. There's a lot of veteran players who are still incredibly challenged by the game. So I'm wondering who is being targeted with the challenge should matter, right? Because if you're going to be able to like, oh, you could scale up your card to be GM level, it's like, okay, well, we're already crushing GMs. Can we go even further beyond? The next multi-year saga starts with Codename Apollo. You'll see teases of it in the later 2 episodes and then fully kick off with Codename Apollo. The next saga is based around a core theme, much like Light and Darkness did. New characters, factions, twists, more. A lot more to say eventually. We don't want to spoil it. First expansion is a non-linear, character-driven adventure. Okay. They're gonna give. Okay, well, I mean, they literally said. I was about to go into a whole thing. Let's read this first. What do we mean by non-linear? Previously, in stories like The Final Shape, you experience the story as A, B, C, D, straight line. In Codename Apollo, our story takes place over dozens of threads.
Bro! Fucking hate ads, bro, so much. And no, I'm not going to use ad block. Yeah, Photoshop's evil for this shit, bro.
So when you land in a brand new location, the story starts at A, and then you can choose if you want to go to C, or then go to B, or then go to D. And if you didn't choose those other options, they're still available for you to go back and play through, and you will need to. Because the more you play and discover, the more the story progresses, so experiencing a certain number of threads opens up the next part of the story. The order in which you explore will be something that you choose, but we have built Codename Apollo in a way the story always makes sense and flows from beginning to middle to end. No time gating, no waiting for the next drop, which I'm sure people are very happy to hear.
Yep.
Story unfolds based on player progression. So I'm not like a huge story gamer. I am getting, I mean, like they said, they literally mentioned Metroidvania at the start. So they don't say specifically like this first one would be a Metroidvania, but it does feel like it kind of fits that vibe, right? If you don't know what a Metroidvania is, it's like where you got to go get a thing so that you can access like another part of a different area in the game, something like that. That could be for something like this. It could be for the next expansion that they do. Just kind of depends on what kind of gameplay format that they are thinking about. They're trying something different, which is something that the game desperately needs. It needs to try new ideas. It needs to try to keep things fresh, to change things up, expansion over expansion, year over year. So whatever this ends up being, I'm open to the idea, right? Again, I know some people are going to be kind of sad about like, you know, a linear story going away, and that's not to say that it could never come back. But I'm excited to see Bungie trying some new formats for the game. So when we think about a multi-year arc, what does that look like? Think of it as a constellation of stories united by a single theme. We will show you what the theme is later, but suffice to say we believe in it. Think of this multi-year arc as a web, not as a line. Each release fits into the larger saga. We can't wait to take you on the journey. So it's not like we're going in a straight line of like, this thing happens at this expansion, which means it's going to change to this expansion, to this expansion. Apollo ends with the narrative gasoline that will propel us into the next few years with a clear theme, goal, and destination that won't come at you at a straight line, but will be well worth the trip. It'll reward you, surprise you, and it'll take us places Destiny has never seen before. See you when the time is right. We have 3 articles to go over. I think a lot of them are talking about the core game, so we're going to see how that changes right now. I'm going to take a quick skim and let's see what's up. Okay, so we're going to go in this order: activities, rewards, and then the portal. I think that makes the most amount of sense, kind of the way I think that Bungie laid it out in the first place. So let's see what Bungie is doing about the core game. Okay, and we're going to start with like the problem, because I just read the TLDR and I think that's going to make a lot more sense once we actually go through it, because I started reading and I was like, hold on a second, hang on. So we'll go there last, even though I know it's fine. In past Destiny releases, all attention has been on a relatively small offering of newly introduced seasonal activities, most often with a narrow range of difficulty options, if any. Rewards and objectives have focused all purposeful play into these activities to the exclusion of most others. Right. A new thing comes out, you want to play the new thing, and all the old stuff doesn't, like, it just kind of sits there, right? As a result, the ritual game quickly becomes stale and is exhausted of worthwhile rewards, and any further pursuit requires a pretty deep knowledge of Destiny or online guides to find worthwhile rewards in older activities. Kind of thinking like dungeon rotator, raid rotator, crafted weapon updates for like raids and stuff like that. Still waiting on like Garden of Salvation, by the way. I think that's kind of what they mean.
Yes, please, Garden, please.
By deep knowledge of Destiny or online guides. Like you have to know like what's coming into the game during a certain week in order to get those things in the first place, right? Because otherwise you wouldn't know, because the game doesn't really telegraph that to you that much. Besides like, oh, you know, that one little pop-up that most of you probably close out immediately on Fridays that's like, next week in Destiny, this rotator and this rotator, like whatever.
Yeah,
The
no one
core
cares.
Game activities are those accessed from the new portal screen, which we are going to talk about, and are together a selection of several dozen new and updated activities that tie into the current seasonal theme and gameplay meta. The selection is updated every major update and includes the current expansion and any running events. So early mock-up, okay. These activities cover a wide range of activity types, from strikes to dungeons to Crucible, and are organized in categories with similar Fireteam requirements. Okay, so solo ops literally sounds like the solo playlist. You got Fireteam ops.
We could talk about this later, so I'm cutting it.
So challenge customization. The major change to core game activities is that they all support deeper personal mastery and a corresponding deep reward offering. All the PvE activities will now support robust.
Yeah, it's weird. I don't know. I feel like there'll be people out there that feel the same way, but I really liked in D1 when you would do something like a strike or whatever, and they'd have everyone's names and then the reward that pops at the end. I don't know why, I just really enjoyed that because it was like that anticipation, like you'd fucking spun a slot machine or something, you know what I mean? Like, again, I wasn't around a lot for early Destiny, but damn, when I like, that is just burned into my brain and just was so cool to me personally. Because then you could see what each other got. You'd be like, oh, no way you got this? Oh, what? You know? I don't know. This is great.
Challenge customization exposed as new options alongside selecting the difficulty. 250. I don't know if these are placeholder or like, are we getting a big stat crunch? Okay. Potential rewards based on how many things you toss in there. There's a more involved one here. Gameplay, enemy power. Well, I don't know if in World of Warcraft you can necessarily customize your dungeon experience other than just like picking what level you want it to be. Like, I don't know if you can go in and like select specific, you know, modifiers like the enemies have, like volcanic or thunderous or like whatever other, you know, adjectives they're using nowadays. You'll be able to select a base difficulty such as expert or grandmaster. The difficulty will set some base difficulty tuning, and a power target, but more importantly will determine how many challenge modifiers you can add on, and in some cases which challenge modifiers are even available. Higher difficulty means more challenge modifiers to slot and a wider variety of them to choose from. Okay, so it doesn't seem like you're gonna be able to put in like every single one of them at once, or maybe you can, I don't know, because this only goes up to expert 3. We don't see what master 1 looks like, and we don't even see grandmaster, so like that could have, you know, maybe everything open and you can just throw on everything that you want. Bringing challenge back to Destiny, I've heard it, and outside of day 1 rating, it hasn't really happened for someone like myself. Now again, I realize I'm at the higher end of the food chain, you know, not to toot my own horn, but beep beep, I'm okay at the game. My concern, until we get to actually see this in action a bit more, is this something that I am going to be able to participate in and enjoy and have it feel rewarding, or is it going to be like, yeah.
Wasn't this bro losing sleep during the fucking Salvation Edge raid race? Fuck yeah. Ow. Anyway.
Yep, it caps out at like Grandmaster, and it's basically going to feel like how a Grandmaster feels today, which for me is not the most grueling experience. I realize like I'm coming at it from a very, very selfish angle, and if you are, you know, some more interested in something like this where you're not at the absolute top of the food chain, then it's probably a little more exciting. I'm just coming in with some apprehensive for me personally. Now, generally speaking, I think this is a pretty neat thing for people who do want to take their gameplay up a little bit more, or actually have to think about their gameplay a little bit more. Now, I still get tons and tons of comments of like, oh, you want to make the game harder for everybody. I don't want to make the game harder for everybody. I want to have the ability to make the game harder for me and leave y'all alone. And that's kind of what I'm hoping that this is going to be able to accomplish. If you want to make the game absolutely crush you into the ground, you should have the ability to tweak the game within the game to be able to make that happen. I shouldn't have to be like, oh, I'm going to do the all white gear challenge where I put on all white gear and see how long I can live. Like, the game should offer more things for people to go challenge themselves if they want. And then if you don't, they said, There's base level things. You're going to still have advanced, expert, master, whatever difficulty you want to set it to. And you don't have to mess around with the modifiers too much, or maybe there's some easier ones that, you know, don't have a huge impact on your gameplay. That's fine. But I think more options are always good. It's literally like never a bad thing to have more options available for whatever the thing might be, I guess within reason. So this is something that I'm excited about, but also a little apprehensive because I want to see how challenging it can get for someone like myself, because you can add all this stuff, but if it doesn't really end up being too much more challenging, then I feel like we're kind of in a similar situation that we are in today that I outlined in my previous video, where I'm just kind of like going through the motions, right? Again, I know it's coming from like a very selfish view right now, but generally speaking, I'm into this. But I'm also into seeing how are they going to tweak the rewards, because that is another thing too, is once people feel like they have all the gear and all the items that they want, there's no incentive to actually participate in these things in the first place. All core game activities will support reward rating, which is a combined team and personal score that determines the amount and quality of rewards obtained at the end of the activity. As a team, you'll earn a team rating over the activity determined on a per activity basis. This outcome is shared by all members of the team and will always try to mitigate competition between teammates for things like scoring kills or specific setups. Cannot have a system where people are fighting each other for kills so that they can increase their team rating or their personal rating. Can't have it. At the end of the activity, your team rating is multiplied by any personal bonuses you might have. This final multiplied value is your reward rating, and this value is used to determine the quality and quantity of your rewards. This is like, on paper, this is all fine. We gotta look at the rewards tab to see what this actually is going to do. Except for Crucible. Crucible is a unique challenge because you can't add challenge modifiers, right? Tricky problem that we're still working out. Not going to dwell on that too much. Expansion activities such as story missions or destination activities present some unique challenges in how they relate to power and changing seasons. Intended outcome that expansion content is always a great way to start off a season and will have a path to high tier weapons and armor, but that progress via core game activities will be a part of that path. Raids and dungeons released with expansion still represent a pinnacle challenge for players. Okay. So this is them being like, they're still coming with expansions, fine. Older activities will remain available to launch from the destination map just as they are today. Over time, it is our intention to clean up and retire some older activity offerings that are well served by the portal, such as Vanguard Ops. These have lots of ties to existing content though, and will need to be moved over gradually. Okay. I think if we don't have a section here just yet, we need some sort of a dev insight on activity sunsetting, because
There comes the word again. Sunsetting. I don't agree with sunsetting. I hate sunsetting, but I'll hear it out.
all people are going to read from this is just like, yes, we are still going to take things out of the game and like switch them around, kind of like what we do with the DCV right now. I get what they're trying to say, but a lot of people are going to read this as, oh, good, they're still taking things and putting it in the content vault.
That's what I'm thinking.
Some extra clarity here would be very appreciated, because it's still a big talking. It's like probably the #1 talking point for trying to get new players into the game is you can't play the older stuff. How does matchmaking work with challenge customization? For activities that support matchmaking, like those in Fireteam Ops, matchmaking will be available for some preset difficulties, but using challenge customization to enable different challenge modifiers will disable matchmaking. So this doesn't surprise me too much. Like, I wasn't really expecting the ability to go into matchmaking and be able to make that happen. But it's also, I don't think, the most reasonable to be like, oh, matchmake me with other people with these exact modifiers on my card. I just didn't think that was super reasonable. So yeah, this does not surprise me too much. You're gonna have basic matchmaking up to a point, and then if you really want to take it even further beyond, you're gonna have to find some people to play with. Completely makes sense. Now let's look at TLDR. Core game activities feature a wider variety of new and updated activities across many types, with an updated selection every major update. So does this mean like we're bringing back old seasonal activities? Like, are we going to see the Menagerie show back up or something like that? Are we going to see some of these like Season of Dawn? Because obviously it's not going to be like all completely brand new activities, right? Because, you know, it seems like part of this restructuring is to get a lot of older pieces of content that nobody plays anymore back into rotation, to maybe have things feel a little fresh again, which is the one thing that I actually enjoy about bounty prepping, is that I get to go back to like older parts of Destiny and be like, oh, this is nice to go back for a little bit. But it seems like they might want to have that be like a bigger part. Challenge customization, easy way, provide a way to adjust activity difficulty. Okay, new portal screen allows for quick access to core game activities, making it easy to find what you want to play. You just be able to log in and like go here and be like, all right, I'm gonna click on Fireteam Ops and okay, that looks pretty good. And it's given what rewards? No, actually I don't want that. What's giving me the, okay, I'm gonna pick that and then go. So dialing that in, I think is gonna help a lot of the more maybe casual audience, not as hardcore audience, whoever. Even some hardcores, right? Because even me, I'm like, all right, you know, I gotta dig around and be like, okay, what's the Nightfall weapon and should I go grind this or like whatever. So I'm interested to see if this does anything for someone like myself, or if I'm just gonna be, you know, in the Pinnacle Ops playlist, or I'm just gonna be doing challenge cards or like whatever. Interested to see how this is executed upon. I think there's still gonna be some, you know, if they, depending on what kind of activities they bring back, there might be some like, oh great, Empire hunts again, or like whatever. But it seems like Bungie actually wants to utilize some of these older pieces of content. So overall, I'm interested to see what something like this, the Portal, does for the overall player base and people who are maybe not as immersed into the game, and making it simpler for people to just hop in and start playing, and they don't have to look through 17,000 different menus. And then here, I don't really want to give my full take yet, because I want to see rewards. I want to see how that plays into it. But like as a concept, yes, thank you. I like this. Let's go to the next article, which is rewards. Because again, all this is cool, but it doesn't really mean anything if the rewards aren't good enough to support it. The problem, which should not be that mind-blowing, in past Destiny seasons, only a narrow range of activities received updated rewards, leading to a narrow selection of activities worth playing. These reward pools tended to be not very deep either, with most chases bottoming out with weapon perk rolls or crafting recipes, mainly crafting recipes, and armor not mattering much at all. These problems have resulted in shallow, unsatisfying grinds, and a tiny subset of the activities that are actually available to play, with their best rewards being a matter of luck rather than skill or mastery. I wouldn't even say luck. It's more like just persistence, right?
Swarty tier 5. What the fuck?
As long as you continue to play whatever activity is dropping the thing, eventually you'll like get all your recipes, right? So
yeah, but the thing is as well is that, I mean, they might talk about it soon, but ever since crafting weapons came out, I'd give zero shits to any other weapons in the game other than exotics, personally. Because I love crafting weapons. Crafting weapons and craftable weapons are really, really cool. Awesome. I'm on board for them. But the double-edged sword with them, and I've spoken about this before, is that the fact that any other weapons that I'd got previously, before crafting came out, I just dismantled and got rid of. There's some exceptions I've kept, either because I didn't have an archetype of that at the time, like I didn't have a solar bow or etc at that time, so I'm like, I'll keep this because I actually think I need it. I personally, with my guns, like to have one of each type, so whether it be like, you know, a bow, a hand cannon, etc. But I also like having a damage type of each. So like a solar arc void bow, a solar arc void, etc. So for me, keeping weapons was my main thing that, other than triumphs, that drew me into the game. Is I love collecting, and I'm sure a lot of people do too, but I love collecting, right? So when crafting weapons came out, cool and all, but it took away a lot of that want for guns. Back before crafting, I would go to specific activities or do specific things or do specific PvP or etc, just to get a drop roll of the weapon that I wanted, so that I could get the roll that I want of that weapon. And then I'm like, yes, I finally got Night's Watch with fucking explosive payload and whatever else, you know, like, get that. And then, oh, I've got this other scout rifle. I don't need that anymore because I got this new shiny thing with the perks that I want. And the rate of fire is good. I miss being able to jump in and test out the weapons and see which one feels good. You know? And then dismantle whatever one I don't like. But with crafting, awesome. But it just took away a lot of that for me personally. But I'll let him continue. I just thought I'd throw that in there.
It's not even really. Maybe it's luck in that, like, sometimes you'll get a red border and then sometimes you won't. The solution: weapon and armor tiers. Legendary weapons and armor will be available in a deeper range of quality tiers that layer on properties like stat bonuses, enhanced perks, and other benefits. For weapons, this will be similar to how adept weapons upgrade the baseline legendary. The baseline legendary tier of weapons.
See, funny thing is though, is I never really liked adept weapons or had an interest or an inkling for adept weapons. And the first time I ever started getting adept weapons was when crafting was already out. Same with like adept raid weapons. Like I'm like, oh, cool. You know what I mean? I don't know, because crafting adds another level of fun to me, because let's just say I get an adept weapon from a raid, and I get an adept, and I've got a crafted version of that weapon from the raid, and they both have the same perks, right? And I know that there's other things that come into play with adept weapons, but they both have the same perks. For example, I also like leveling up my gun. I don't know why. The XP that you have with the gun, going back to my commemoration and seeing that's what's my commemoration at? It's at 83, and it's got 2,000. I mean, I mainly use it for damage, but it's got 2,000 kills on it. Sometimes, you use it for fun, but like, yeah, like the idea of having a leveling bar and everything, it just speaks to me personally. So yeah, I don't know. Anyway, we'll let him continue.
And armor will be equivalent to current day legendaries, with higher tiers being generally equivalent to adept weapons in terms of upgrade. Okay, I am noticing a boosted origin trait. So it seems like you're gonna be able to enhance origin traits at tier 5. Did they say I don't know if tier 5 is like the highest, but like, dude, every single thing here is enhanced. So let's just say tier 5 is the highest right now. The only pushback that I really that I expect is that, like, getting to this state, or like pretty close to it right now, is completely like material driven, right? It's not very skill driven. It's just like, do you have the money to just push into your gun to boost it as high as it can possibly go? And if the answer is yes, congratulations, you have a tier 5, or maybe it's tier 4, whatever, weapon. So I might anticipate a little bit of pushback from people being like, oh, well, before this update, all we had to do to get like a super high tier weapon was just shove a bunch of materials into it. But now now it's like so much harder because we have to go do this and that and whatever. Now I've got to put a bunch of stuff on my challenge card and I don't want to do that and whatever. That's where I can anticipate a little bit of pushback. But generally speaking, I mean, like, this feels like how it should have been for a while, right? Higher tier content or higher difficulty content gives you the best stuff, not necessarily like the highest, power level that you can just infuse into something else. So conceptually, I'm into like the higher your challenge, the higher tier your rewards are. And I think breaking this bone of just like, instead of just getting a gun and then just pumping a bunch of materials into it, that you instead have to actually play harder.
I mean, it's cool that you could, if this is the case, that you play harder content and get better rewards. But I also miss gun leveling, which is, again, falling back to the crafting thing, like being able to upgrade your gun because you use it. But then also people could probably use things where they kind of like just farm. They could farm like Shurichi, or I don't think you can use macros anymore, but you could like, just hold the fire button down or something. I don't know, but there's a lot of ways that twats exploit shit, and it pisses me off. But yeah, anyway.
Tier content in order to get those things, I'm into. Conceptually, I'm into it. Now, something also I will say is that it doesn't seem like, every time I say, like, we can't possibly get more powerful from here, and then...
Well, I mean, another thing as well is, like, I know you can enhance these 2 perks. I'm not sure about adept weapons or anything else, but being able to enhance everything sounds a bit interesting to me. And it could be my push to move away from a crafted weapon to these. So I see a positive to this for me personally. I can't say for sure because, I mean, it's not out, right? But just from the off look at this, it makes me think, if I got a really good one of these tier 5 weapons for working my ass off to get it, and it beats the shit out of my crafted weapon, that's basically, let's just say it's a void assault rifle, or scout rifle, then I might just dismantle my crafted one and just use that instead, because why not, And then you have the argument of, like, what if this one comes back and it's better? What if 120? What if this,
And like, boom, upgraded or enhanced origin perk. But it does not seem like we are going to be, like, pushing into, like, a 3 perk territory. At least right now. I mean, knock on wood. Maybe it does get there and we get even more crazy. I don't even know if I'd want that. But it does seem like the double enhance, or not, maybe if you want to say triple enhanced with the origin trait.
I'm sorry to keep pausing it. Look at Tato's face. Another thing I would like that I feel like some people agree with me on is, again, it's probably just too much to do, especially with the amount of weapons that are in the game now. But I'd love for them to bring back the scope changing and the barrel changing. If you change the barrel, let it change the barrel a bit. Change your scope. Like, let's have some scope options, bro. I'm not talking out, like, attachments like, let me chuck a fucking grenade launcher on the bottom of it, or fucking, I don't know, armor piercing round, like, nothing like Call of Duty. Let me akimbo these sidearms. Oh man, imagine dual wielding. Oh, dude, dual wielding sidearms. Dude, imagine dual wielding Traveler's Chosen. Holy shit, that'd be broken. Anyway, yeah, I don't know, at least scope. Like, at least let us change the scope or something. Just, I want to be able to personalize my weapon more. I'm already loving the shaders and not really liking the mementos, because the mementos, the way that they were advertised, made me much more excited for them than they actually were when they came out. Like, there's some good ones, don't get me wrong, but I really want to be able to add some personalization to the weapons. Hell, I wouldn't even be mad if they added charms, dude. At this point, something. Anyway.
Triple enhanced weapons seem like they might be the peak of, like, how strong a weapon can reasonably get. This is neat, but people are going to have to break away potentially from the idea of, like, oh, I want the best weapon possible, shove a bunch of materials into it. I think this is a much better way of, like, pushing that, but I could also understand if maybe some people who can't handle those levels of content feel slighted against, because, right now, if you just save up a bunch of money, you could have what might be a tier 5 weapon, whereas in the future, maybe you're only able to handle content that goes up to tier 3 or tier 4 or something like that. But I think having, different tiers of loot depending on the difficulty is a bit more satisfying than just like, oh, you got your pinnacles that you can then just, like, throw into any other weapon. I don't know how much of this is necessarily solved, though, when we still have a lot of crafted weapons available. I don't know if they mention anything about crafted weapons here, so we'll see when we get there. So reward pools is just them kind of, like, straightening out where rewards are going to be coming from. It's not really too different to what we have right now. Like, Crucible has its own reward pool, right? Like, it drops certain weapons that you can only get in the Crucible. The same goes for the raid, same goes for dungeon, same maybe goes for, like, Nightfall weapons, right? So it's them just kind of, like, outlining, like, hey, core PvE is going to have its own set, and Pinnacle PvE is going to have its own set, and Expansion Story is going to have its own set. I wouldn't stress too much on the reward pool section. We're just going to move on. New gear. New gear will be a blanket category for all of the weapons and armor newly introduced in the current season, regardless of source. New gear will receive a special visual treatment to help players identify which weapons or armor sets are new and which may therefore benefit from things like artifact bonuses. May be required in specific optional activities where players are looking for a level playing field. For example, a Crucible playlist option for players who want to play with and against the newly introduced gear, seasonal events centered on posting high scores in specific activities. They essentially like want to make it so we have like special categories of activities where you can only use new stuff. Like you can't use anything from the past, like whatever's available right now, that's what you have to use to maybe introduce some sort of expansion wide or like season wide like competitive stuff. I mean, seasonal events centered on posting high scores in specific activities. Okay, I've been hoping for like some sort of, you know, leaderboard competitive PvE type thing for forever. So maybe that's kind of leaning on this, and this is their way of balancing it. So you can only use like a specific subset of gear, which could like change up season or expansion over expansion or update over update on how people tackle these pieces of content. Because if you can't use, you know, something from the past, you have to use something new. That might change up your strategy. Conceptually, if that's the direction they're going for, and I didn't just completely make something up, I'm interested. This like needs more of an identity of like, what does this actually mean for me as a player in the game beyond just like some stuff in the artifact. I think we need more concrete examples of like what is that?
Bruh. Fuck out of here.
Actually mean for me? Like, why do I have to care about new gear within the context of a specific activity?
Oops.
Let's see if they mention in the FAQ. Does new gear mean old gears being sunset? No. Existing gear remains unchanged, ready for use in any activity, except those set aside for experimenting with new gear. I think another question is like, why do I want to experiment with new gear? What is the point? It can be infused to achieve the same power. Okay, the only specific advantage to using new gear will be some artifact synergies comparable to origin trait upgrades found on existing artifacts. I still would like more examples. Can I still obtain old gear? Yes, you can go get it. What's happening with weapon crafting? Weapon crafting is not going away and will continue to be a way to craft a specific role of a weapon. Okay. Our intent is for crafting going forward to provide a...
Hang on, what?
Okay. Not going away. Yes, you can go get it. What's happening with weapon crafting? Weapon crafting is not going away and will continue to be a way to craft a specific role of a weapon. Okay. Our intent is for crafting going forward to provide a catch-up mechanism for roles you weren't able to nab from the original sources. This may be because that source is no longer available or was gated by time locks when it was, but ultimately we want crafting to support the weapon chase, not replace it. We'll follow up with more details in a future article. Interesting. As I said in my previous video, a lot of my playtime has gone down because once my friends and I have our patterns, we're just like done. And so like we don't really have weapon chases anymore. We want crafting to support the weapon chase, not replace it, which is what it feels like it has done. Like crafting has overwhelmingly replaced actually going down and hunting weapon rolls of certain weapons, save for maybe a small handful, like, I don't know, trials or like the dungeon sidearm before we had a crafted version of it, right? I could see something where crafted weapons aren't available right away within an expansion cycle. Like you have to wait to like the mid-season update or something. But then if it's like that, then people are like, oh, well then I'm just gonna wait until the mid-season update. So like what's the incentive besides maybe like being under the new gear label for people to you know, get weapons now if they're just gonna be able to get those weapons down the road, if that's what they're going for. Again, I'll wait for more details in a future article. I'm interested in you know, maybe like that's kind of why I like shiny weapons in Into the Light, right? It's like it's the first time that I've actually been excited to see a piece of loot drop in this game in multiple years. Overall, I am interested in how this is going to end up playing out. I want to see like how high of a difficulty do you need to get to these, you know, tier 5 or whatever the highest tier weapon is going to be. But conceptually, I'm into this is how gear works in a lot of other MMOs, right? You do the low level dungeon, you get like tier 1, tier 2 stuff. You're going into mid to high tier dungeons. Okay, now we're getting the 3s and 4s. Oh, you're gonna hop into Grandmaster, now you're getting like the 5s. Are we gonna go beyond 5? Are we gonna have some cosmetic options available? What if I'm in Grandmaster 97 or whatever the highest is? Is there something beyond that tier 5 for me to chase? Or are we gonna cap out at, you know, such a low level of Grandmaster that I'm not really incentivized to go challenge myself even more? Because you can have all the challenge you want in the game, but if it's not incentivized properly enough, people are not gonna go play those things. Maybe we have to start getting used to a world where you actually need to go play the game in order to upgrade your weapons to the highest level. What a freaking concept. I want to see why new gear actually matters beyond just some stuff in the artifact or whatever, or a couple of these smaller things, because I feel like they're pointing this out. Like, they wouldn't just point it out if it wasn't that big of a deal. So maybe it's a bigger deal than they're letting on right now. I'm not sure. I just want like a little more on new gear, because like right now I'm just kind of like, why do we need to make this distinction? Why does this distinction matter so much that we're putting it out right now? Okay, the portal. The problem. The destination map, also called the Director, is Destiny's venerable activity browsing and selection screen. Over the years, it has grown to be very unwieldy, making it harder to find specifically what's current and worthwhile to play, and requiring ever more expert knowledge to navigate to find what you are looking for. Even current players can have difficulty finding a new activity, or while new or returning players have even greater trouble. Totally understand that. Again, you bring up the menu. You have like your quest menu as well, which is also split into like several different categories. It can be very overwhelming. I mean, I get the question every so often of like new players coming into my stream to be like, hey, what do I like do after I'm done with the New Light campaign? Like there's just no direct, I mean, that's kind of like its own, the new player experience is its own problem. There's just so much information for the average player to kind of take in. And if you're not super immersed in kind of the day-to-day of how Destiny works, it can be pretty overwhelming. Solo ops, 1 to 3 player activities requiring very low time or social commitments. These activities are designed for solo players, still fun with the fire team, easy to pick up for a quick session. Solo ops will feature a new activity type, which will get a deep dive soon. Okay. Fire team ops, 3 player activities for match-made or pre-made groups, designed for fire teams, more cooperation, coordination, strikes, onslaught, coil, new types in the future. Okay, kind of what I thought. Flashpoint ops, which was not on this. 6 player activities for match-made or pre-made groups planned for a future season. This category will be introduced later next year. More chaotic 6-player combat like offense. Okay, so Flashpoint is basically like the 6-player version of Fire Team Ops is what I'm getting. So
I'm up for that. The fact that you can do like I know a lot of people are wanting more player stuff. Like the amount of times I've wanted to play some Destiny when people were a bit more booming on the Discord. Wanted to do some Destiny shit, and then more people joined than what we have room for, like a 3-player activity, right? Like the seasonal story, for example. I'm not saying that that's what's happening, but it's just cool to know that you don't have to do a raid if you want to do a 6-player activity, which I think is awesome, personally.
Need like 6-player activities. That's where that's going to be. Pinnacle Ops. 3-player activities featuring some more challenging content, including dungeons, exotic missions, and full-length onslaughts. They have an exclusive reward pool to claim, success not guaranteed. Is missing the word match-made. And so I think this is for pre-made groups. You hop into Pinnacle Ops just to, instead of like having to ping pong around the map everywhere to be like, okay, where do we go for our pinnacles? Boom. Pinnacle Ops playlist, you just hop in there. Maybe a bit easier of a way for people to just kind of group up, like, hey, who wants to hit the Pinnacle Ops playlist? You know, match up in Fireteam Finder, match up on the LFG, Discord, whatever, and just hop into Pinnacle Ops, something like that. Okay. Crucible is, Crucible. The portal screen will also host consolidated and streamlined side objectives like bounties or seasonal challenges. That aspect of the redesign is still a work in progress. Okay. Primary goal is to reduce the chores that need to be done before diving into an activity. We will be sharing more about this change later in the year. They just want people to like freaking turn on the game and then start playing. You ever see that? You just like pop open Elden Ring and it's just like continue, and then you effing start playing the game. They're trying to give Destiny a continue button, and you just hop in and play the freaking game. I totally respect it. Bonus rewards. Every day, several activities in each category will have bonus rewards added to their standard offering. Includes specific weapons, armor slots, currencies.
I haven't fucked with it much properly, to be honest with you, because I haven't been playing Destiny as much lately, other than my 30-day thing now. But the Pathfinder stuff is pretty cool to me, pretty interesting, even though I haven't dabbled in it too much. I just like objectives, you know. That's like, for me, I'm one of those people that miss, with the Pinnacle stuff, I miss having to do 3 strikes, 3 Crucible, and 3 Gambit, personally. So the Pathfinder was a cool way for you to make you, not optionally make you, play those other playlists to progress. So to me, that sounds fucking awesome. So I'm not sure how I feel about the playlist thing. I wonder if they're going to get rid of the Pathfinder.
Guaranteed from the first daily clear, high drop rate on future clears. Sorted to the top and easy to find, so you can quickly scan what's available and decide if anything's worth chasing. For matchmaking activities, it will offer matchmaking at a wider range of difficulty options as well. Okay. Are old activities going away? No, except for some seasonal activities that are normally removed at the end of the year. Again, really would like a sunsetting article. Older activities will remain available to launch from the destination map just as they are today. Did we just read this? Am I going crazy? What about Gambit? Gambit will remain available from the destination map, but will not be rolled into the portal categories at the start of next year. We're still figuring out our plan for this beloved game mode. We have some ideas ranging from closer integration into the Crucible category to standalone events that feature it. Would probably lean this way. I don't know many people who would like want to queue into the Crucible category and then are all of us just hit with the drifter, you know, hitting the ding, 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 ding. I think you get a lot of people leaving your matches like that. So maybe making it like its own kind of Iron Banner type thing where they could do fun changes to Gambit. You kind of bring it back every now and then. You get, because I think way more people would play Gambit, maybe not way more, but I think more people would participate in Gambit if it was part of some sort of like seasonal event that had some kind of other gimmick involved with the mode. So at least they would like want to try it out, right? Will dungeons and raids be in the portal? Dungeon content will be featured in the Pinnacle Ops category with some alterations to support challenge customization and reward rating. Interesting. Raid content will not initially be present in portal categories. The long clear times combined with a wide variation of experiences present some unique challenges that we're still working through. We're excited to get this content into the portal offering in the future. Raid content. I mean, are they going to take like individual bosses? Kind of like a, maybe not necessarily like a Pantheon where it's like a gauntlet of bosses, but it's just like a boss or like 2 bosses, like a super short Pantheon or something like that. Yeah, we're not in like match made raid content situations. Just
yeah, I really want them. I know I feel like a lot of people really fucking hate Gambit, and like I get it, but I really want them to do something with Gambit. I really want them to do something with Gambit that spices it up. Bring back, I don't know, bring back more maps. Maybe have some different options. Maybe an enemy rotator. Because I know that they have the drifter, but it just, I don't know, like just something different. Maybe bigger maps so that we could have like vehicles or something. I don't know. Just I love Gambit. I do. But I understand why people hate it. I do and I don't. So I'd love for them to do something to actually make it fun and really bring back, you know.
Yeah, think raid matchmaking is just not a good idea unless they completely neuter the raid content that is being match-made specifically for that match-made version. I think those are all the articles. So overall thoughts on the Portal article. I totally get Bungie wanting to clean a lot of this up, right? They said it very well with like one sentence. The primary goal is to greatly reduce the chores that need to be done before diving into an activity. Sharing more about this later in the year. This, like, I feel like sums up the entire article right here. Is reduce chores that need to be done before diving into activity. They want to reduce the confusion. They want to reduce how many things you need to scan and look through and analyze to be like, what should I go do? They want to add the Destiny splash screen and you just hit continue and then you pick your character and then you go. Totally respect that. This is all in concept. In actual execution, obviously, you know, I can't really speak to that just yet. We need to wait for it to actually come out for people to experience. But the concepts behind it, I think, are sound. And I'm interested to see how this ends up working out for the more casual community out there. The more you can make it easier for people to come into the game or even explain the game, right? Think of trying to explain the game now for like a new player. It's like, okay, well, you have your director menu and then you have like 17 different planets and then you have all these different modes and then you have like a subset of modes over here, and don't forget about Pathfinder over here. And then if you go over your quest tab, you can check all your quests. These are the new ones. This is for the season. This one's for the expansion. This one's for previous expansions. Or you can be like, hey, let's hop into Pinnacle Ops, or let's hop into Fireteam Ops, or yeah, just go look for anything with a little star icon above it for the new things and go. Bit easier to explain. Okay, and finally, not necessarily linked to a lot of the like future talk. This is like a 10 years of Destiny celebration, you know, because today, as I'm recording this, the 9th, is the 10-year anniversary of Destiny launching. Destiny 1, 10 years ago today. So Bungie's doing a few small things, nothing too crazy it seems like. You can look at this. I've linked all the articles down below if you want to check it out for yourself. They're showing some artwork from a lot of different Bungie artists over the years on their art stations. They have the Legends of Destiny art show tour. There's gonna be one in LA, one in New York City, one in London over the next 3 months. They are introducing a set of armor inspired by the original concept armor that was shown, you know, 10, 11 years ago now. I'm thinking like E3 2013 when I was there. Can be found today.
Did Bird just gloss over the fact that one of them was holding Icebreaker?
September 9th while exploring the surroundings of the tower in the Pale Heart. So you just go scoop it up. It doesn't seem like it's Eververse. You just go get it. Good move. We have a seal that you can go get for the 10-year anniversary. They got a Nerf gun, Ace of Spades if you want that. And then we have all the articles that we just talked about. Oh man, lot to kind of dig through there. You know, I always come in with like some level of like cautious optimism, and that's what I'm probably going to continue to do here until proven otherwise. But I think the onus is still on Bungie to like prove to people that they can back up what they are saying here. And I can understand, you know, if people are maybe coming away from a lot of this kind of stuff not feeling super satiated, because I think, you know, when you think of like an update like this, people are maybe hoping for like huge swaths of changes and like crazy shifts happening, and some of this just kind of feels like patching up some holes in the game, and like kind of like they have to like reestablish a new foundation for some of these systems in the game, and that's just not as like sexy to hear versus like, let's talk about the Final Shape campaign or like the Final Shape expansion or like whatever. That's a lot, I think, like sexier, whereas this is not as sexy. It's not as like compelling to some people because it's more just like a lot of systems changes, and you know, it maybe might not affect greatly excuse me, sorry, throat's a little dry. It might not greatly affect people's perception of the game because right now it's like a lot of conceptual talk. It's a lot of, you know, systems and gameplay updates and all those kinds of things, which I don't know are like the big ticket items for the majority of people out there. Like me, I'm pretty interested in just like anything that they want to, you know, show the curtain behind, like hey, come take a look at like this little thing that we're working on. I'm like, oh, that's kind of cool. But for other people, you're maybe only interested in like one specific thing, and maybe they didn't even touch on it today, right? We're still getting like a lot of code names. We're still getting a lot of, you know, just conceptual themes and just a lot of words. And
or you get people that just drop the game entirely, like some of my mates that I used to play with. Hell, the dude that got me into this game has pretty much dropped it. I told him that Icebreaker might be coming back. He just sent me a thumbs up. I'm like, all right, well, I'm never talking to
We
you
don't
again
have
about
any,
Destiny.
like, video or any of this or any of that. So, as usual,
Not even going to entertain the
it
idea of playing
depends on
with him
how
now,
it's all
it seems.
executed upon. Talking about like the portal, you know, is the average person getting like super hyped up, like, oh my god, I can't believe they're changing the menus in the game? Like, probably not. But these are probably some things that Bungie has been needing or wanting to do for a little while, and they essentially are trying to break some bones to establish a new norm. But that's just not super like sexy to hear about. So I think the more enticing things are probably still to come in terms of like what are you really doing to innovate on this experience, because people they crave some level of innovation. That's what they're looking for, and they say it a little bit, but we've also gotten used to Bungie saying like, we're looking to innovate this and we're looking to innovate that, and it hasn't really come to fruition as much as people have maybe been expecting, or it's come to fruition but in ways that like people didn't really acknowledge or care about that much. Or like, you know, I'm thinking of like the last 3 seasons we got, season 21, 22, 23, like those are all well done, but when it comes to Destiny seasons, but like, was there a ton of innovation there? Maybe you could argue the coil a little bit, you know, like, oh, they're trying, you know, some kind of roguelike type situation. And, you know, I'm interested in something like, oh, we're trying, like, this episode's gonna be a Metroidvania, and then this episode's gonna be like a roguelike. And so I would much rather see Bungie fail, but trying to innovate on something versus just giving out more Destiny, because more Destiny is just not, it's not gonna cut it anymore. It hasn't. Just like, we haven't been able to just get more Destiny, and people are fully satiated. So I can understand if you're coming into this being like, what did they even really discuss here? Because it's just not very sexy, right? Like, you know, episode and expansion models and this kind of thing isn't like, it's cool for the super invested, but for the people who are looking for like massive change and like, here's how we're doing this, I don't know if you're completely satiated with this just yet. Ultimately, like, I do understand the vision behind like a lot of things. I'm like, oh yes, that is important, and oh yes, I didn't even think of it that way, and oh, I'm interested in like the challenge card or whatever. We still need some more from Bungie, and then even then, a lot of this is just, it's text on a screen. Some of these things might not even come to fruition, as they, you know, said earlier. You know, our roadmap and plans are subject to change as we get deeper into development. Yeah. Depends, I think, ultimately on how all of this is executed. We can talk concepts all day. We can talk this, we can talk that, but it just depends on how it's all executed. So I can understand if you're coming into this being like, all right, I'll see you in 9 months. If you're like that, I'm like, I totally get it, because we got episode 2, we got episode 3. We kind of already know what that's going to be like. We know what the next few months are going to be like, and I wasn't anticipating these articles to necessarily change how I'm going to feel over the next, you know, 6 to 9 months. What did they say? Did they give a month? They just said summer, right? Summer 2025. So what? June, July, August. So sometime next year. I can understand if you're coming away from that being like, yep, I'll see you in 9 months. It's a lot of talk. It's a lot of talking, and I appreciate what they are saying. It's just now a matter of, can you execute on those things? Are they going to be fun to play? Is it enough for people? Did you really hit those points that you really wanted to hit? Some of these things, you know, the portal menu and you know, the gameplay stuff with like the challenge card, that's a little bit easier to like conceptualize in your head about like, oh, here's how this thing is changing. Okay, we'll see how that works out. But like, I understand the vision behind it. But then you have like much more ambiguous things with like, you know, challenge your idea of what a Destiny experience can be. It could be freaking anything. Like, this is so much harder to conceptualize, other than like, we're trying to innovate more. And it's like, well, we've heard the innovation talk before, right? So I'm going to cut it there. I will be back on Wednesday. We can talk about all this on Wednesday, twitch.tv/Dado. I'll be alive like noon West Coast time, something like that, around there. And we'll talk about this more. But if
All right. So that's the general gist of his video, I guess. I'm glad I watched it, not gonna lie. I wrote charge AirPods on my tasks and it auto-corrected to garage. I fucking hate autocorrect. Love, it keeps me high. Stronger than before. Alright, I'm going to I'm gonna go to bathroom. I'll be right back and then we'll get into some Destiny. Okay. One more thing. One more thing I wanted to have a look at before we wrap it all up.
Get into the action at Hellspin. Join us today and grab a welcome package of $5,200 plus 150 free spins. Your next big win is just a spin away.
All right, let's get straight to the...
Gotten around to doing Salvation's Edge, and what I have for you today is the very first secret chest in the raid. This is going to be between the second and the third encounter,
Oh, really, bro? Is there any? I guess not. I was hoping to see if I could just kind of use my fucking deep sight harmonizers for the raid weapons, but I guess not. Your love keeps me stronger than before. So, that is how it's going to be. That is how it must be. I'm pretty sure I only got armor from the 2 encounters I did in Salvation's Edge. Fuck. Okay. What? I don't remember how to even get these things. Fuck. Though your love it keeps me high. Anywho, let's just get Wriggle on. Let's continue with the story. Oh, fuck. We're going over. 35 remaining. I'm gonna have 35 more kilojoules today for my calorie deficit. Oh, I'm gonna fail. I cheated. I had mechas today. Oh, Wardcliff Coil. Cool. A message awaits me in the helm. Again tomorrow. Oh, Saint's here. Hey, Saint. Oh, Osiris.
Guardian, Osiris, Ikora and I have made a plan. We can use what we know about the Veil and the Vexnet.
The Veil? Why would you need to...
We will go to my tomb, in the timeline where I died fighting the Vex. My true death.
when you were taken from me?
Yes. I can use the memories of that Saint 14. My memories.
I remember when the Vex killed my crew. Those memories will haunt me forever.
Failsafe?
I mean, it's not so bad. Except for the horrors.
Yes. Everything I learned, everything I did. I fought the Vex for many, many years.
I remember.
Ikora thinks we can use the data to find this conductor and secure the Echo.
No. I won't. We can find another way. Failsafe.
It must be done. So I will do it. Ikora told me I was once the Vex's greatest opponent. She said I should remind them.
I need to think. This can't be the only path left to us.
The Saint unit has already made up his mind.
He needs you right now. You know he can't do it without you, right?
Ooh. Yikes. Oh, we're gonna enter in a mission with Saint? I'm down. Just gonna do a quick check. Huh. Okay. Cool. Alright. I'm down. Let's do it. Let's do it, okay? Where's the mission? Huh? Ah, it's match made. Oh, okay.
Saint will join us shortly. We seek access to his tomb.
We are grave robbing.
That is one.
Bruh.
The interim Saint unit is still VexNet. Their memory core is a back channel into the network.
Saint must understand there are no lesser versions. Only expressive tessellations of what could be. Facing his death again is the cost of that revelation. Well, so be it.
Nessus reshapes itself around this Vex fluid. Soon, we will hardly recognize it.
Whoa.
The Infinite Forest was on Mercury. How do we reach it from here?
Access here is somewhat like an archive, imprinted into the magnetic field of Nessus.
Am I by myself?
Used Nessus for defunct digital storage. They kept trying to plug me into it. And wow, is exposing me to their connection protocols going to backfire? They should have predicted that.
What did you mean about the data here being defunct?
The Guardian pulled you from a point before your death to a point after it. To the Vex, that temporal event is a defunct anomaly now, non-existent within this timeline. So it is kept here, stored in Nessus's memory.
The details that separate him and I, if they fade away, will I be his shadow? Or will he be mine?
I can't answer that for you. You're you. Were you less you before today? I tore open time for you.
I suppose.
Saint doesn't sound convinced.
You should be near the access point, Guardian. Locate a conflux. They will react to our attempt to breach the tomb.
Yes, they're doing that now. As complex as I anticipated. I'm almost in.
Fuck out of here. Those wyverns look fucking cool though.
I'm in.
Now to learn of the man I was, and will be. Osiris, why did they keep my body?
Respect. They honor you with a perfect preservation. There's no replacing you, Saint. Even the Vex recognize that.
The Vex are very meticulous.
But also weirdly sentimental.
Bro, the fact that as a Guardian you lose your memory, when you become an Exo you lose your memory, and when you get reset you lose your memory. This is insane, bro. Ooh. Oh my god, bro. It's his actual face. Oh my god. What?
I searched for you in the Infinite Forest, I saw this again and again. You, entombed, taken away from me, perhaps forever. When finally I found you, I thought I would never have to see it again.
I am here, Osiris. You told me that I am real.
So is he. Do it. Remember the Vex. But also how much I loved you in that timeline, too. Saint!
I see it. I tear through the Vex. They cannot stand against me. They hesitate. They are afraid of me. Oh. Then Geppetto is hurt. I try to protect her, but I am too late. I pull a Minotaur apart with my bare hands. But soon, I fall. The Vex approach. They are lifting me up. I lose my senses. I cannot feel my body. My vision blinks in and out.
Stop. Please.
I am on this slab, but I have one final feeling. A memory of us. Together. I am bringing you tea. I watch you take a sip. It is too hard, but you smile. That is my last thought. My phoenix. Oh. I am gone. But no, here I am. With both of you. I am Saint 14. The conductor cannot hide from me anymore. Failsafe!
I have the coordinates, Saint Unit.
Good luck.
Holy shit.
Saint Unit, Captain, I have achieved coordinate lock. I'm rerouting the conductor's radiolaria flow to this location.
You guys gonna be alright? Okay. Damn, bro. That was hitting me in the feels personally. Holy shit.
So, hey, while redirecting the conductor to you, they were real in there. I pulled some other Vex along, and you're surrounded. Maybe we can reason with them?
Yes, Guardian. Reason them with the big guns. I will protect Osiris until the way is clear.
See? You're the same old saint.
I really wish I could have experienced this with my pal that brought me into the game, but whatever. I digress.
Captain, I am patching in cover. Eyes up.
Can I damage you? No. Oh, I have, ooh. That was an ammo crate. Oh, that's unfortunate. Ah, fuck. God damn this fucking cover from dissipating. Oh, thank God. Fuck!
Captain, I am patching in cover. Eyes up.
Bro! I was right there!
Captain, I am patching in cover. Eyes up.
Can I stop using the rocket launcher, please? Am I done with the rocket launcher yet? No. Of course I'm not. Hurry up, we're almost there. Fuck out of here with that. Oh my god, bro. Why did I do that? Fuck.
Captain, I am patching in cover. Eyes up.
I got the pesky pump door open before the Vex cut our connection. You have a clear path to the conductor.
Excellent work, fail-safe. Now it is us telling them what to do.
The conductor's signal approaches. Nessus groans under the yoke of its new cultivator.
Let us see if they can produce answers or only questions.
The fuck? What? Okay.
Lakshmi?
Is a facsimile its archetype? No. I am Maya Sandrash.
No way.
Sundarish. So this is what happened to you after Neomuna. After your experiments with the Veil.
I know what you can do with the Echo of Command. I will not allow you to raise an army of Vex.
I'm doing what I've been called to do.
The Vex called to you.
Humanity called to me. The collapse, the Black Fleet is finished. Now we can look back to what we've lost. Radiolaria is the means to this end. It represents the smallest unit of consciousness. A trillion formless minds, notes in a symphony of thought. Each one begging for direction, for a conductor. Nessus will be converted. The radiolaria I command will be spread throughout the system. I will deliver us a golden age. And if you stand in the way of progress, I will break you down into more compliant elements.
We are not your Vex.
You will be.
Get us out of here, now!
A face to the conductor. Maya Sundarish. Yo, bro. Yo. And that motherfucker that was excited about it with me is missing out on it. Tired of this girl. That's too damn bad. Oh man, I love memes. Good shit. That's a sweet deal. What a name. Do I need to go talk to Saint?
Checking. Sign, please.
Perhaps a barter is warranted.
Let's get you back out there.
Gonna have to make some new Destiny friends.
For the city. For everyone who can't anymore.
I was born outside the city walls, you know that? Yeah. It was rough on the refugee roads. My ma died crossing the Panama.
Maya Sandaresh, risen from the Vax network. She has Lakshmi's face. Osiris tells me it must be a mask she feels comfortable wearing. Well, it did not comfort me. And today was already filled with ghosts of the past. Guardian, before I claimed the memories of the other me, I was afraid. I was already filled with doubt, and I thought I might lose myself. But as his thoughts merged with mine, it was as though I lived through his centuries of struggle. And my feelings, our feelings, were in perfect harmony.
Don't you fucking dare, Destiny.
Suddenly, all questions the conductor put in my mind were answered. It does not matter if I am the real saint or the true saint. Every me is me.
There you fucking go. Bungie. For fuck's sakes, everything was going smooth. Until this bullshit. Fucking bullshit, cunt. Oh, fuck off. Please tell me I can fucking listen to it again. This is the shit they need to fix. Error codes.
I'll keep fighting. For the city. For everyone who can.
Maya
There we go.
Sandaresh, risen from the Vax network. She has Lakshmi's face. Osiris tells me it must be a mask she feels comfortable wearing. Well, it did not comfort me. And today was already filled with ghosts of the past. Guardian, before I claimed the memories of the other me, I was afraid. I was already filled with doubt, and I thought I might lose myself. But as his thoughts merged with mine, it was as though I lived through his centuries of struggle. And my feelings, our feelings, were in perfect harmony. And suddenly, all questions the conductor put in my mind were answered. It does not matter if I am the real saint or the true saint. Every me is me. So, when Maya tried to command me again, I used my truth to push her away. But she still forced me to my knees. She is growing stronger. We must return to stop her, but she has blocked our access. Failsafe is working on a way through, and when she finds it, I will be ready.
Doesn't my sniper look gorgeous? Oh, red box. Hell yeah.
Shine bright.
You shine bright. Yes.
To hear the children laugh. This is the peace we fight for.
100%. Got a new emote. Alright. Postmaster's getting full. What's this? I don't know what dance that's referencing, but it's alright, I guess.
Oops. Well, that's no good.
I don't think I got any Salvation Edge of weapons dropped. Hey? What's that for? Speak with failsafe.
What do you think this machine does?
Titans are strong, so that we may lift others when they feel weakest.
I agree. It's the reason I chose the Titan to begin with. Will I level up again? No. Almost. Speak with failsafe. Alright. Let's do that.
Do you still imagine all the possibilities life could have? as I did? Or has fate made other choices for us? If we are to stray from our predetermined path, our salvation requires sacrifice. I experimented to find the words that would make you understand. Make you see what I see. But for you, the cost was always too great. Lifetimes passed before I realized. For me, you are too great a cost. Somewhere was another us that made the right choices. A better us. A better you. Not imprisoned by fate. I do not know what that version looks like. Us. Perfected. But I will. Because though we've lost everything, I still dream of what we could be. And in one of the many iterations in which we have peace, I only want the one that is real. I will find our golden age. Our perfect future. Yours and mine. And if you cannot see why my methods are necessary, I have the tools to make you understand.
God damn it, the racist bitch is back. The future world code. Wow. Wow.
The research on Yomuna's Vale facility is complete. As the report is lengthy, I will summarize. Maya Sandarish and Chioma Essie were a married pair of researchers in the Golden Age. Their work often touched on the Vex. They found an object on Neptune that whispered to Maya in her own voice. That artifact, the Veil, is of the darkness, as the Traveler is of the light. Maya grew obsessed with it. Chioma,
Oh, did I actually accept my friend request?
in her
Hell yeah.
compulsion to study the Veil, Maya took no heed of any risks or of Chioma's doubts. Humans under her command died. Exominds were wiped. Maya wanted a chorus that could channel the power of the Veil. And to control that chorus, she built an imprint of herself named Lakshmi. Soon afterwards, Maya entered the Vex network. She left no trace. Chioma exiled Lakshmi, shut down all Veil research, and redacted it from Neomuna's history. In a final act, Chioma entered the network herself. Other Mayas and Chiomas were already inside, simulated hundreds of times by the Vex. It's possible that the Echo brought many Mayas together into the Conductor. Or perhaps only the first. There is no way to know which, if any, directed the Conductor's actions. But it would be folly to underestimate any Maya Sandarish.
Damn. Oh my god, I'm stealing this meme. I am stealing this meme. Please, can I see the comments? Can I not comment on this? Have they stopped allowing people to comment? That's so funny though. That's such a good fucking meme, dude. Holy shit.
Did you receive the transmission from Maya Sundaresh? What did she mean when she said she'd find our golden age?
As a golden age AI myself, I observe a negligible intersection between Maya's current behavior and the relative utopia of that time.
There was peace. We turned our focus to the stars, but we weren't conquerors. We were explorers, scientists, adventurers. We reached into the unknown, not to control it, not because we were commanded to, but because we had hope. That feeling was a long time ago, but I'll never forget it.
And I'm not getting any of that from Maya. Captain, I have overridden the Vex security around the scene of your last confrontation. The coordinates are standing by. If you find Maya, tell her I reject her entire premise, and then destroy her.
Bro. Yes, stomach. Growl for me for some fucking reason. Oh, is this where we get the gun? Is this where we get the gun? This we get the this we I feel a bit dizzy after that. Okay, defeat the conductor's forces in the exotic mission Encore, launch at the helm. Can I... Is this match made? I don't think it's match made. I'm gonna chuck out a quick at everyone and see if there's anyone that's kicking around that wants to help out. I fucking doubt it, but it's worth a shot. I'll give it a moment, but if no one joins, then I'll just fucking... I guess I'll fire team find. I doubt anyone's gonna join me though. Their love keeps me high. Just got into bed, sorry. No worries. I wasn't hopeful for anyone here anyway. Out of here with that shit. I'm just hopped into bed. Alright, I'm just gonna fucking fire team find people. Dual Destiny. Whisper 0. Is it not on here? No. Episodic. Exotic quest rotator. The fuck does that mean? Encore Overture. Like, if I'm gonna do this, it should just put it on this. The fact that it's like, do you want to search or do you want to create one? Just let me. Fine, I guess I'm doing it solo. Expert. Am I just doing it solo now? So no one will fucking join me. Alright. Well, I have to do this to progress the story.
Guardian, the conductor has diverted the flow of radiolaria to the planet's core.
We know her goal. We must uncover her method. It seems a contingent of Shadow Legion has taken interest in Sandaresh's plans. To what end?
Why,
Whose
though?
command we do not know. Outpace them.
Alright, I need to be hitting these cunts on groups of 3 or 4, not 1 or 2, for this rocket launcher thing to be a thing. Do we just go? I doubt we just go down there, right? Waterfall of Vex Milk. Actually, real love, it keeps me high. I love the look of these Vex. I really don't know. Go up here. I haven't looked at anything, any videos or any guides or nothing on this, so I guess I'm just going at it alone and exploring it for what it is. Because A, people don't want to join me, and B, Fireteam Finder is trash. Oh, there we go. Cool. Very cool. So we'll just keep going a little bit because I do got to end the stream soon. So we'll just kind of have a little look around. Did it? Are you for real? Oh yeah, my boots will just slip off automatically. So like, is there just two routes? Is that what this is? Just two routes? Multiple routes you can go. We're meant to go down here. No. Why did that insta hurt? Doesn't make any sense. That does that on purpose? That literally slams you into the ground and then throws you into a radiolarium fucking waterfall just to kill you. Then where the fuck do we go then? Oh, did I fuck it up? I think I know what's up. I think I went the wrong way. Yeah. If I'm not mistaken, I went the wrong way. As in, when you fell down, there was that little like bit in the distance, but I fell down and continued to go down. But you know what? I'm not gonna look up a video to this. I'm gonna enjoy myself. Will I probably get my other characters up to this point so I don't waste time? Maybe. But yeah. Didn't have a lot of time in the stream because I started the stream a little on the late side and watched the Dado video. So that's where all of my time went today. Hey, no. Am I meant to be doing this? Very cool. Very trippy. I don't know if this is what I'm meant to be doing. It feels like I'm not meant to be doing this. Because it's getting narrower. What the fuck is going on? Is it down here? I don't want to miss any secret chests. If there is any. Are you for real? I guess my character's like, what's mantling? I don't know what mantling is. That doesn't exist. Has my gun leveled up yet? Fuck. Whew. Hmm. Okay. Can't see fucking shit. It's fucking so dark. I can't see anything, bro. Did my Titan really just slide off? This is the thing about Titans, bro. Fucking butter boots, man. Fucking stay still, or mantle, or stick to something. Fuck. Oh, fuck you, game. Okay, so that's not the right way. Where do I go then, bro? Yeah, up there. How? Jesus. Any chests? Ah, I know you're here. Classic. Your love, it keeps me high. What the fuck? Requires a Vix?
I can only speculate as to the Shadow Legion's motivations. We have seen allies sublimated into the Vex network. It takes great strength of will to maintain a distinct identity within it. The Echo grants that strength of will. We have seen it firsthand in the Conductor's presence.
And we've stopped Scion incursions into the Nessus Vex Collective before. The Shadow Legion wants the same thing we do.
Sniper rifles, you're saying? Probably gonna have to end the stream though. This reminds me of the Excalibur exotic mission. Probably like little upgrades and shit you can get to make this easier or whatever. I can't take it back. Nope. Yeah, as much as I'd love to keep going, I have to return to orbit. I'm probably going to upload the stream though. Some interesting stuff's happened. And why not document my first run through the exotic mission, potentially solo. Righto, Shadows. Thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to follow if you haven't already. Subscribe if you want to support me. I greatly appreciate it. I'll see you guys either later today or tomorrow. Hope you all have a good day or night. If you want to buy some merch, there's a link to some merch stores there. If you want to vote for the next May playthrough, there's a link there to vote. If you want to support me, there's a link there to donate. Feel free to join the Discord. I'll see y'all in the next one. Kakite.